my parents, when I was young and had the kids and all that, you don't think about how grateful you should be. I mean, they went through a lot with me. 3 months, they found out that I had a hole in my heart. And of course, they couldn't do anything then. So they just told my parents that I would probably die as a baby, you know. And but life went on. My mother took me in a wagon and to school when I started school, because when I ran, you could hear my heart in the next room with the door open. It was loud. I was sent to all these resorts to help me, I remember in one, I was the youngest kid there, and I held everybody up. I talked when we were supposed to sleep. I talked, and they had all the girls giggling in the room. When we were all, the one day, the nurse comes in and picks me up and takes me to the doctor's office, and he put a Band-Aid across my mouth. And she said, "You better be quiet now and go to sleep." At that place, they had a faucet where cod liver oil came out, and we got a spoonful every day. Oh, I hated that with a passion. Oh, if my poor parents had known what I was all into in Berlin. I mean, they had a soccer team, the boys, and there weren't enough boys. So me and my girlfriend were in there playing soccer and all that stuff. My parents never knew that. I was on a running team too at school. The schools were good in those days. That's one thing I can say. Uh, we got into chemistry and physics and all of that, which of course I can't remember any of now anymore. But uh, two languages. One started in fifth grade, one started in seventh grade. We learned a lot, but we were goofing off there too. I stood in the corner a lot because I always talked. And then when I stood in the corner, then I'd peek out and grin, and then they started laughing. Finally, the teacher said, "You might as well sit down." My dad, we had, he worked for a French general, okay, in Berlin. And that guy was transferred to Baden-Baden, and he wanted my dad to come along because my dad kept the gardens. And the place where he was transferred to was Siemens Works Summer Cottage. And this was not a cottage. That was, I mean, that was a mansion. That was very large and beautiful and all of that. And they had the best Porsche, and that's when I had my first ride in a car. And there they didn't have a Baptist church. So we had to go to we found one other family that were Baptists, and we went to I think it's called Free Will Evangelical. That pastor actually was really good. An evangelist from England and his wife. She sang so beautiful. In fact, I have heard her singing on VCY, they had her. But yeah, I can't remember their name though. It drives me nuts uh, trying to think of their name. But they had a tent meeting, and that's where I got saved. But we were in Baden-Baden only for 2 years, and we came here. Well, my brother wanted to come here. My dad didn't want to. He had bad memories about the American soldiers. He was in captivity, and he didn't like what he saw, and he didn't want to come here. Crossing was horrible, even though we didn't have to pay anything. Well, we were counted as like the Polish people that came, and even though we were Reichsgerman, so we came with them, and they didn't charge us anything because the ships went across to take the troops across, and they came with us back. They had to come back empty. They didn't want to do that, so we didn't have to pay. Man, were we sick. It was bad. And we had a terrible storm. One day everything was closed. But on the other days, we had to get up and go outside. And they made sure and cleaned the deck first. So everything was wet, so you couldn't sit anywhere. And there weren't any benches either. What was really funny was they had a bunch of Jewish rabbis on board with their long coats, long beards, and with their uh, uh, bags in their hands because we were all barfing, you know. It was funny. We had English in school in Germany, so it didn't take long. I was in school here. I started ninth grade here at South Division, and that was easy, except for one class, and I can't remember what it was. But I took German, and they didn't learn anything. I took German for the fun of it. I didn't know you needed credits. So the last year I had to go to summer school. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had enough credits. When we came over, and we lived in Green Bay, actually only for a few months, I was in a choir there already at the church. Yeah, and they had me singing at an old people's home. And then Dad heard in Green Bay that there was a German church in Milwaukee. So then we came here. And we went to the German church. Then I got baptized. I got drawn into everything, and it's so wonderful to see how when one gets involved and you get drawn in, that helps. The Lord has been so good to me. I can't explain it.